dead people? Because they're voting in California. Corrupt politicians are using dead people to steal elections. Last October, we learned that a Mexican citizen used a dead man's ID for the last 25 years, and he voted for him multiple times. A CBS investigation found that hundreds of dead people are still voting in LA. By allowing dead people to vote, the Secretary of State is telling you that your vote does not matter. You know what? Your vote does matter. All votes matter. Elections matter. Let's stand together. Let's fight for fair and free elections. I'm Mark Meuser. I'm running for California Secretary of State. I don't see dead people, but I do approve this message.
And now, back to the Erin Cruz Show. Here's Erin Cruz.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just this last, 2 days? 2 days ago, it seems like years ago, eons ago, I caught up with Mark Meuser, the gentleman who was just in that commercial just a few seconds ago, a dynamic man, really working hard to make California golden again. He's going up and down the state, getting out the vote, getting out the message that we have to have fair and free elections here in the state of California. It doesn't matter who you are. The message is clear. So this is what he had to say when I sat down with him.
Thank you, Mark, for being on the Erin Cruz Show today. I have to ask you, you came out here all the way to the Coachella Valley. You rode your bike. I heard you're on a bike tour throughout the state. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing a 58 county state of California. We're doing it over 46 days. I started in the Bay Area on July 9th, and I'm going all the way to August 23rd when I'll roll through Orange County. We will finish up this bike tour.
Wow. So what made you get to the point where you wanted to do that bike tour? I mean, we know you're running for Secretary of State. There are 58 counties, but I mean, what got you to that place where you said, you know what, I'm going to do this by bike?
Well, I'm a lover of history, and I've always loved where the campaigns used to be what we call whistle-stop tours, where they got on a train and went from town to town to town to town, and they just took their campaign to the people. And I figured if I'm running for Secretary of State, there are 58 counties that are going to be voting for me, and I wanted to take my message to each and every county and talk to the voters. And you can't do it on train anymore. So you could drive, but I like to bike ride, and I just, looking at the map and the cities, and like, you know what? Let's just ride our bike between all these cities, and it I used to race bicycles about 20 years ago. About 3 years ago, I did an Ironman. So
wow,
I'm not in the shape that I'd like to be. But by the time I'm done with this tour, I might be starting to get back into shape again.
Well, you look great, and it looks like you're really enjoying yourself. The people are enjoying spending time with you. And you're not just reaching out to Republicans on this tour through the state. I've heard you've even run into, say, some Customs and Border Enforcement individuals and other people on the street as you're going through town to town. You have the opportunity to meet people on the ground. And how's that sat with you, and what's the reaction?
Well, we've been having great reaction. I mean, I've been in many cities where, they are not used to seeing a statewide candidate. I mean,
or even meeting a Secretary of State candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I was in one town which probably has 75 people, and we stopped at their local restaurant for lunch, and I had a great conversation with one of the, not town father, because it's like his great grandfather was the town father of that.
Right.
Yes, but it was.
Right.
We're just traveling around, having real conversations. We have this big 31-foot RV that has my face plastered over it.
And you're going to give a picture to us of when we just did our little photo, and everybody was here, and I'll share that with the viewers. I mean, that's just phenomenal. I mean, what is the message then that you're sharing when you're going from town to town and talking to these voters?
Well, first I have to identify the problem.
Right.
People have to understand the problem before they're ready for a solution.
So what does the Secretary, let's back up one step further. What does the Secretary of State do?
The Secretary of State is the chief election officer. And so here in the state of California, we have the second worst elections in the entire nation, according to a liberal think tank.
And they're not that conservative on their numbers, so yeah.
But, across 14 measurables,
Right.
scientifically data studied,
Right.
California has the second worst elections in the nation.
And you, as a Secretary of State, once you're elected, what would be your role?
My role is to administer elections, from voter registration to election day procedures, to counting the vote and making sure that it's not being hacked, to making sure that there are proper audits in place so that if somebody tries to steal an election, we're able to catch them and prosecute them.
Right, right. So now we can go to the other, which is we have problems.
Yes.
And what are your solutions? What are the problems? What are the solutions?
The problem, 11 counties was over 100% voter registration.
LA 144%.
Yep. San Diego 138. The solution to that is simply cleaning up the voter rolls to make sure that only those people who are eligible to vote are on the voter rolls. Recently, there was a Supreme Court case out of the state of Ohio where they determined, well, this lawsuit was that Ohio was too aggressive in cleaning up the voter rolls. The Supreme Court ruled that they were okay. But what was interesting is the state of California joined in a brief with the plaintiff saying, here are 11 different government databases that you can use to clean up your voter rolls to make sure that you have clean voter rolls.
Right.
The state of California is only using 3 of those.
So we aren't using our resources and data available to us. It's basically waste of government.
Yeah.
If they're not using the tools at their disposal, they're not serving the people.
I mean, people got upset after 9/11 because the CIA and the FBI were not communicating with each other.
Right.
Voter registration, people are communicating with their government. We live in the day of big data. It's just a matter of the data being shared from one government agency to another. And California has identified 11 different databases that can be used.
Right, right.
But we're not doing it.
And that's something you'd like to see changed.
So then, better election day procedures. We need to actually train our poll workers.
So education, training.
Better education on what the election law is, what election procedures is. We need to spend a little bit more time because our poll workers are the face of our elections.
Right.
And so what's important is that we actually give them the tools to better equip them to handle the situations that we are dealing with on election day.
MarkMeuser.com, MarkMeuser.com.
To hear more and to learn more on how you can make an impact or about the Erin Cruz Show, visit us online at erincruz.com. That's ERINCRUZ.com.